suitable for you. In reference to equipment, there are certain guys that are like vinyl purists. Me obviously. I started off playing wax. I graduated to playing on CDs. Like later on, like once the CDJ was invented, I still play my wax. I still play CDs. Then they come out with these controllers. They got Serato and Tractor and some of these other programs, Virtual DJ and so forth. I mean, I don't have an issue with doing that, but I'm more of a passionate individual. I just stick to more of what I'm accustomed to. I don't use laptops to DJ. I'm obviously a professional. So not to say that a person's not professional if they use laptops, so I don't want to be misguided by that. But I'm more of a purist when it comes down to my flavor and my style. So then we got these CD players that were invented. At first they played CDs. Then of course Pioneer came and they evolutionized it, and other companies like Denon and so forth, everybody came up with this thing called the CDJ. Some of these CDJs you can just only play CDs in. So we started walking around with our CD books and so forth, and we play CDs. Then they came with another version. They came with the ones that took USBs and thumb drives. So now you can take an actual SD card or a thumb drive, and you can put loads of music on this little bitty thumb drive or USB device. You stick it in, it gives you your titles and everything, and if you got a thing called Record Box, it gives you the record covers, it gives you all the titles, and you can see the little record on the side. And then they have other models where you just got to scroll and look at your titles. Whatever your preference was, I just thought that was unique how technology has changed throughout the course of decades. I mean, I've been playing for over 30 years, so it's, to see playing on, big heavy reel-to-reels and tape decks, 1200s, has been interesting. I think my first pair of turntables that I ever owned on my own, I had some 16 or 1700 Techniques. I bought them from Greg Loftus when I was about maybe 13 or 14 years old. And that was my first gear that I had for myself. I would actually have to go to school every day because I was still in high school. And then I would DJ and do my parties and so forth on the weekends, and that's how I make my money. So it was kind of like my job, starting off as a teenager. The cool part about it is that when I was going to these parties, the people that I was going to the parties with were my age. So it was like, damn, you a teenager and you going parties with, with Farley and Mickey and Ron Hardy and all these guys, and you was just a kid. And I'm like, well, it was the passion, the drive, it was the determination. It was just me not giving up and just being a firm believer. I mean, it wasn't a walk in the park, obviously. And there were a lot of times that I gave up and just said, you know what, I'm not going to try to chase this dream. I'm not going to try to do this. And then, one day, I went to imports, and I remember this plight. My mom's a fashion designer. She designs clothes, so she has a shop downtown. Barbara Bates is my mom. So I come home one day, and she's like, what's wrong? Why are you so frustrated? I said, I'm just trying to do this DJ thing, and I don't really think it's going to work out, or blah, 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 blah. And this and that. She was like, well, you got to stay at it. You got to stick with it. You got to do this, you got to do that. So I submitted a demo, I think, I want to say it was Steve Poindexter. I think I mailed him a tape or something like that. So I came in, I was a little frustrated because, things were not moving as fast, and, sometimes we can be impatient. And, my mom was like, well, you just got to stick in there. Sometimes, like when you least expect it, things happen. And I was like, yeah, true. So I didn't completely give up. So she kind of sat and pondered around for a bit. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this guy calls you named Steve Poindexter. His phone number is on the refrigerator. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? He said, I just wanted you to kind of go through the motions a little bit. I said, but yeah, he called you back. He told me to tell you to give him a call. I gave him a call. He was like, yeah, man, I got your stuff, and I like it, I dig it. We throw parties at this place called the Athletic Club, and I want you to come check it out, and this and that. And I was like, well, other DJs playing? He said, yeah. He said, you'll be playing with Ferris, and you'll be playing with Ron Hardy. I'm like, wow, okay, like, all right. So I started doing that Athletic Club. I started doing other, like other events. Started doing like the Ascot hotels, and there was a promoter by the name of Marvin Terry at the time. And Marvin Terry would throw these hotel parties, but he had such a significant gimmick with the parties he would throw, because he would incorporate the schools. He would get like all the schools from the south side. He would grab a DJ from the schools on the south side, DJs on the north side, and so forth. I'm doing good to you. So he would somehow get all these schools to get together in unison. Then he would throw these banging parties at the hotels. So he would have a DJ, for example, I went to Farragut High School, so I represent Farragut. And Byron Burke from 10th City, he went to Near North, so he would DJ. Little Dexter and Little Nicky and guys, they went to Steinmetz and they went to different parts. Emmanuel, DJ Emmanuel, I think he went to Tilden. So he would get all these guys together. And Terry Hunter went to Hyde Park. So he would get together and he would throw these hotel parties, like at the Ascot and the Hotel Continental. He would throw these events, at these hotels, but it would all be schools, like Steinmetz versus this, or Bogan High School this. So he would incorporate all of the high schools, and these parties would be nuts. 2,000-3,000 kids coming to these parties. So I was like, okay, cool, So I started doing like a little events for Marvin Terry, and I played a couple times with Lil Lewis with Diamond Court. I done been in every damn promotion that ever existed. I done been in Gucci, I done been in Galaxy, I done been in Armani, I done been in Montana, I done been in Diamond Court, I done been in Flight One. I mean, been there, done that. I done played at most of the venues here in our city, from north to south. Parties deep on the south side, clubs, Hummingbirds, and General Persuasions, places that no longer exist now, obviously. But Sawyer's, Powerhouse, Music Box, Rez Hall, Da Vinci Manor, AKA CODs, Coconuts. I mean, just to name a few. La Mirage, The Click, all they used to be one spot, but they always changed the names, obviously. But I've seen places open, seen places close, venues and so forth, and I saw a different, like a consistent change. Like when the 90s came, it was just a tad bit different as far as the sounds and the way things were going, because it started to become more segregated, where you had guys on the north side, they were DJing at some of the little places they played at, and then you had people on the south side that they would cater more to that, in the south suburbs and so forth. So I was able to diversify myself, to be able to play in every realm or every arena. It was never a point where I'm just going to stay in my lane over here. I'm very ambidextrous, skillfully, so I was able to play with the guys out west, play with the Hispanic guys, play with the rave and the hipsters, as they say now. I was able to diversify my skills, to be able to not just fit in one category, but to be more ambidextrous with the way that I express myself musically. And now when I look at the way things are now, it's so easy, it's so much easier. It's like it almost makes you say like, well, damn, why couldn't we have had this, when we were 12 and 13 years old? It's like DJs, female and male DJs today, they got it sweet. You're spoiled. I mean, you can just go right online and buy your music and shop. You don't have to go nowhere, get dust, and go to warehouses like me and Ron Hardy used to go to Ray Barney's. We come in black. He would let us go back in the back, and we buy our records, and we buy the records wholesale, and we just sitting there, and by the time we leave, we dusty. We got all the music that we want to have, because we would dig. We would get on the ladder. We climb up there. We'll scroll through this. We'll do that. It's like we worked. So I don't want people to think that they're not earning or working hard for their music. You guys just need to understand that a way has been paved based on technology, but there's nothing like the climb of becoming something. and the worth ethic that comes with it. You know, I mean, we'll go to secondhand tunes, we'll go and dig, we'll go to gramophones and different places that were open for us to get the musical selections that we were looking for. But you know, back in our days, we had cassettes, we had reel-to-reel tape. You know, y'all get an MP3, you get a WAV file. I mean, it's beautiful, so you don't have to walk around coming to parties, you know, with this big ass crate of records. You know what I'm saying? You bring a couple thumb drives and a hard drive and just plug in, and you know, the equipment is already there for you. Pioneer has always been known for DJ standard. Technique has always been known for DJ standard. I mean, no matter where you go, everybody, you know, there were other companies, you know, that manufacture and they produce different things, but when you look at the standard, it's like the Technique 1200 is like the DJ standard as far as music. I mean, they got other brands, obviously, but the Technique by far is probably the dopest turntable on the planet. You know, Pioneer does one, and I played on it before, and they're really nice. But hands down, Technique just, when they made the turntable, they really came up with a beautiful device. And I still own a pair. I still play records. I still love my vinyl. I'm never gonna, you know, become animated. I mean, I think I did a gig, and the guy's like, "Gee, man, I'm sorry, man, but you know, we wasn't able to get the CDJs or whatever, man. We got Serato." And I said, "I know how to use Serato." And they were like shocked. They were like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to use it. Like, come on, let's get to work." So there's nothing wrong with mastering your abilities and being able to be, you know, being able to